hats or anything like that, y'all. So hey, y'all, Keto Coach E here. Welcome to Keto class tonight. It is Halloween. It is Halloween, and we are going to talk about: are you being tricked or are you being treated? Because there are so many keto snacks out there, and I've been keto for about 4.5 years. And when I first started, there wasn't a lot of keto items out there, really. It was just, there was just a way of eating. You just ate that way, and it was what it was. But now there are so many different tricks and treats and things out there that I feel like, that's what we need to talk about. And I talk about that a lot anyway. Those who follow me on TikTok know that I always break down different items, different snack items and things like that. So, hey, Lisa, I see Lisa's on Facebook. You said my first year educated keto anniversary. Okay, Lisa, been working with Lisa for the last year. Lisa, drop in there how well you've done on the keto lifestyle. If you see her transformation, it's crazy. I think somewhere around 60. Said tomorrow. I'm saying 60. She's at 81 pounds. Lisa, I promise you, 81 pounds. And I get on Lisa because sometimes Lisa doesn't even realize herself how much success she's had. So she had 1 year anniversary and she's at 81 pounds. That is amazing. That's amazing. So congratulations on that, Lisa. And a lot of individuals I met close to a year ago because we were all sitting at home. So I met a lot of people while we were at home, and I was just on the internet all of the time, just teaching and sharing, and was able to meet a lot of people and affect their life just as much as they've affected mine. So it's been great. So I'm going to talk about keto tricks and treats. Tricks or treats. So are you being tricked or are you being treated when you're out here looking for some of these keto snacks? I'm going to share my screen on the Facebook and YouTube side. So if you want to see the visual, then you jump on over there. Let me see. I said share file. I don't want to share a file now. I want to share a screen. There we go. So I'm gonna share my screen on that page, so y'all can jump over there if you want to, or just go look later. If you're not in my Facebook group, you want to definitely get into my Facebook group because it's easier for you to get some of the links and things like that. Also, if you have questions, you can definitely post them in the Facebook group, and I interact with every question in there. I mean, we have about 4,000 people in the group, but it's never so much going on that I can't keep up with it. So it might be a day or so, but I will definitely make sure that I touch every single everything that goes on inside that group. I definitely make sure that I interact with it. So definitely get into the Facebook group. And I have 4 years worth of videos in there. So I just saw today that 2 people commented on Thanksgiving videos from 2020. So, and it's, when the Facebook, when you comment on something, it goes back to the top. So it was pretty weird. I'm like, when did I do this video? And I'm looking at the date, and it was from November 22nd, 2020. So it's so crazy that you can go back and you can get videos from 4 years ago that I've talked about, and pretty much my theory has been the same. So my theory has been the same, and I would just say over the last year, it's been confirmation being able to work with so many people in a short period of time. My learning curve has increased even more, and my confidence of what I've been teaching has increased even more just because I've seen how it's worked with other individuals. So Lisa is saying she went from 365 to 284 in the last year. Lisa has been a part of the mastermind. She's been in and out of the mastermind, but we talk on a regular basis, with strategies and things like that. And she's been doing great. So I see Ebony. Hey, Ebony said, you slid over here. Ebony said, slid over here for the visuals. Yes, definitely want to get the visuals. So let's get it going, y'all. So let's talk about have you tricks or treats? So I mean, one of the things that I really hurts me the most about the ketogenic lifestyle is that people use the term for and I guess when I say for profit, I mean for profit because it's not I don't even want to say it's not ethical because I don't know if it's ethical or not. But I think that they're using the word keto, but they don't really understand what the lifestyle is, and they're profiting from it. And it's coming from a lot of major corporations that are profiting from the word keto. And it's because of lack of education about the lifestyle. So one of the things about that I love to teach is I love to educate about the lifestyle. And I'm passionate about the lifestyle. Some of the folks on Clubhouse will tell you because I got into a room one day And I felt like I had to stand up for us, just for the lifestyle. I think recently, just on TikTok, that the Factor Cap guy made a video, and I think that video was really old. But I think that sometimes it's just to educate individuals on what keto really is, because we kind of get a bad rap in the keto space, and some people will have their opinions on why. But the main reason why keto gets a bad rap is because people don't understand it. So people can say all of the other stuff about, well, we talk about this, we talk about that, you talk about snacks too much, you do this, you do that, whatever. Everybody snacks, everybody eats bad on every single lifestyle. And the thing is people don't like keto because they're not educated about it. And most of the people who come to the light with keto are educated through someone else's experience. So I think about Dr. Fung, who wasn't a huge fan of fasting and keto, and now he's like the go-to guy for that topic. And the reason that he got into it is because one of his patients that he worked with, I believe the story goes that she was like kind of like a / employee type patient, and she came to him and she basically went through it on her own, and he saw the results, and from then on he became the expert. He stuck with it and kept teaching it. And a lot of medical professionals, that's how they end up coming to the light with ketos, because they're being educated by someone's results. How can you deny Triple J coming to you after 6 months and his A1Cs are normalized, and his blood sugar is normalized and his blood pressure is normalized? Like, how can you deny that as a medical professional? So sometimes, we got to fight the fight with the information. So that's what I like to do, is I like to share the information and show and share the results. So real people, real results is what I like to say inside my group. And let's get it going, y'all. So one of the things on the treat side that people are being tricked on is sucralose. So sucralose is like one of the main things that I talk about all the time. And we had that conversation. I think we had that conversation today inside the mastermind group. That there are a handful of people inside the group who were using sucralose before they got into the group. And after they were able to release the sucralose, they were able to start to see the results that they wanted to see. We have my man Carl in there today, and Carl has reached he surpassed his goal. So he surpassed his goal. And a year ago, he was drinking sucralose. And I say drinking sucralose because sucralose is one of the main ingredients in a lot of quote unquote, I would say non-keto drinks. So I'll list some of those out just so y'all know. And those who hear me, I talk about this stuff all of the time because I'm a big believer. I'm like Bruce Lee. He says he fears the person who practices one kick 1,000 times more than he fears the person that practices 1,000 kicks one time. So I am from the teaching that I'm gonna teach you through repetition, so that it sticks over time. And sucralose, one of the main ingredients that is, I believe, and I say, I believe it because I've read studies, and now I believe it even more because I've worked with so many real people during the pandemic. And I just posted a video that one of my friends from TikTok, she took the challenge of me telling someone on TikTok to get rid of sucralose for a week. And she took the challenge herself. And I'll post that video in the Facebook group or somewhere so y'all can see it. I believe I already did, but if not, I'll post it today when we get off of here so y'all can see it. And basically, she got rid of sucralose for 5 days, and she went through the progression of showing like exactly what happened through her body and her journey just in that 5 days of releasing the sucralose. Now, the main items that have sucralose in it, sports drinks. So Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero, they have sucralose. Scientifically, sucralose, just a few studies that I've read, both will indicate that it destroys 50% of the gut bacteria. And is it in everyone? No, it is not in everyone. And I always say that, if it's a 50-50 chance that you can destroy your gut bacteria by drinking that, then if someone told you it was a 50-50 chance that if you left the house today, you were going to get hit by a Mack truck, you probably would stay home. And that's my theory when it comes to sucralose. Like if it's a 50-50 chance it's going to destroy your gut bacteria, then it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, your good gut bacteria is what's going to help with everything: absorption, digestion, all of the things that you need in order to get healthier. That's the one thing that you don't need to be getting destroyed. Not only that, it causes cravings. How do I know it causes cravings? Because I have seen people response when I tell them to leave sucralose alone. So it causes cravings, y'all, and it really it really does, y'all. It's just as bad as sugar. It's just as bad as sugar, if not worse. So sucralose is definitely one of those things that I've seen that we are getting tricked with. Why? Because it is just as sweet as sugar. A lot of things, a lot of items have it. Barbecue sauce has sucralose. They're 99.9% of the keto or low carb or whatever barbecue sauces have sucralose in them. So you definitely want to be careful about that. I think the only one that I've found so far that I have not tasted, and anyone who's tasted it can definitely let me know, is Guy Gone Keto. So Guy Gone Keto has a whole line of condiments that seem to be pretty good. So I definitely need to check that out myself because barbecue sauce is pretty bad in the keto space. So all of it has sucralose, and some people will agree with that. Some people will not agree with that with sucralose. But from my experience and my teaching, sucralose is a trick. It is definitely not a treat. So if you got sucralose in one of those items, you want to leave it alone. Bang drinks. Bang drinks. People used to drink Bang drinks like crazy back in the day. They don't really drink them that much anymore. When I say back in the day, that's back in the keto day. Because when I first started keto, Bang drinks were really popular. Ice drinks were really popular. Both of those have sucralose in them. So you want to be mindful of that. And a lot of people that I work with were drinking ice drinks and were able to let those go. Crystal Light, those powdered Crystal Light, they have sucralose in them as well. So that is definitely another one that you would want to stay away from because that's a trick. It's not a treat. So stay away from the sucralose in those items. Now, one of the trickiest items that has sucralose, well, not even sucralose, but has aspartame. So aspartame, I think most of us have kind of come to the realization that aspartame is just not good. All of the memes over the years of like the little peppermints on the ground and the ants won't even like walk over them, won't even eat them. So, aspartame, I think we have kind of come to that realization. But they've actually put aspartame and even sucralose in sparkling water. So I drink sparkling water all the time. But some of those sparkling waters that you see, even I go to Royal Farm a lot and get sparkling water. But you'll notice that some of the flavored sparkling waters will have sucralose in them. Basically, if it doesn't just say sparkling water and they have like 6-7 ingredients, take a look because usually one of those ingredients is going to be sucralose that they have put inside of it. And sometimes you might even find aspartame inside of those sparkling waters. So that's one that you really got to be mindful of because some people will be drinking those sparkling waters, not even realizing. And I learned this lesson because I coach basketball and my dad is my biggest supporter, y'all. He comes to every practice on my high school team. He comes to every practice. He comes to every game. So he's there every single, and this has been since I was a kid. So he's still supporting me. And he noticed that I would drink sparkling water all of the time during the game because I had an incident, y'all, where I don't drink out of the water cooler because we were in a tight game and I went down at the end of the bench and I drank out of the water cooler and we lost. So, sometimes in sports you get that superstition. So my superstition is never to drink out of the water cooler. So I started drinking, bringing my own bottled waters, and usually they would be sparkling water. So he came to the game one day with a whole bag full of sparkling waters, and they were from Walmart, and they was that American brand. It's American something. I'm not sure if it's just American or American something another. But I looked on the back of them, and sure enough, they all had the good stuff in it, the sucralose or aspartame. I can't remember. And at the end of the game, he comes to me. He's like, "Well, why? I bought you all those waters. You didn't even touch them." I was like, "Yeah, I had to show him. Like, this is why I didn't drink them because they have this in it." But that is one of the things that you definitely got to be mindful of when it comes to when you're looking for that drink. When you're looking for that drink, so definitely the sports drinks are probably one of the biggest mistakes. The Crystal Light, also those Mios, those little Mio squirts. Those little Mio squirt drinks, like there's so many people who like the Mio to squirt in their drink, and that has sucralose in it as well. So sucralose is one of those things, y'all, that I really teach to stay away from, to make sure that you're mindful of it and you're looking at those ingredients so that you are not tricked when you're looking for a treat. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. So let me show a little bit here of some of the other hidden sugars that I speak about quite often. So those are on my Facebook page. Y'all can see the page here, because this is the grading system here, the grading system page that you will be able to bring up on your phone. So I will open. I'm just gonna open this up, and it'll just be the beta version, and hopefully we can work through the kinks. So cane sugar, y'all. So cane sugar, I think that's the obvious one. Most people see cane sugar and they know right away. Oh, that's sugar. Trying to get my screen back up on Clubhouse because that keeps going to sleep. So cane sugar, dextrose, agave. So agave is one of those things that is deemed to be a healthy sweetener or a healthier sweetener. So so I put agave on the list because I don't think people are really tricked by agave, but they just think agave and honey are healthier sweeteners, so they tend to gravitate towards those. So fructose, we know about fructose. We've heard about the high fructose corn syrup and all of those things. So we pretty much know that if you see that on a package, you want to stay away from it. Glucose, we know about that one. But here we go with malt, maltodextrin. So maltodextrin is in a lot of things, even tricky things. So tricky things like pork rinds, like they put maltodextrin in a lot of the seasonings. So even if you go and you buy a meat that's already pre-seasoned, take a look at it, because a lot of times that has maltodextrin in it. So you want to definitely look at that. Syrups. So if you see something called something another syrup, then 9 times out of 10, that's a sugar. That's a sugar. If you see something that says something another molasses, then you know that's a sugar. Sucrose, dextrin. I got honey again. And then sucralose, and then isomalto oligosaccharides. All right. So that was deemed supposedly was supposed to be a fiber, but they changed that because, and y'all have to remember, a fiber is nothing but a carbohydrate, but they deem it to be a fiber because it supposedly does not get into the bloodstream. It passes right through the system and doesn't get into the bloodstream, and it doesn't affect the blood sugar. So they deem this isomalto oligosaccharide could not be considered a fiber anymore because it affects blood sugar. So y'all know a lot of the teaching that I do is about blood sugar. And the Quest products, they had isomalto oligosaccharide in them about 3 or 4 years ago, and they took them out of all of their products. Now they added sucralose to some of them and took the isomalto oligosaccharide out, but they did remove that, and a lot of companies removed that from their products. You can still find it every now and then, but be mindful of that when you see that it is not it's not responding in your body as a fiber. It's responding in your body as a carbohydrate. Well, fiber is a carbohydrate. Let's be technical, but it's affecting the blood sugar. So let's look at some sugar alcohols, y'all. So when we look at the sugar alcohols here, so if you're looking at the sugar alcohols, we got maltitol. So maltitol is definitely one of those ones that's probably used a lot. It's used a lot. It's used in those Atkins products. I suggest that you stay far away from Atkins products because they are tricks. They are not treats. they're gonna get you in the trick bag, and you will not be having the success that you want to have. So there's a lot of maltitol in those items. Maltitol is also known to disrupt your gut. Why? Because sugar alcohols are known to ferment in your stomach. So when they ferment in your stomach, then that process causes you to have that gastric distress. So maltitol is definitely one that you want to be mindful of and stay away from. Sorbitol is a low glycemic index. So if you look up sorbitol, you might be like, oh, I don't know why, coach say to stay away from sorbitol. Now, I say to stay away from sorbitol. Number one, it has a glycemic index associated with it, and we have sweeteners that do not. So my thing is I introduce you to the top 4 sweeteners and really get people to just stick to those. Lactitol, glycerol, isomalt, xylitol. I say xylitol and gum. Basically, for the most part, if you find an item that has xylitol in there, not a big deal. But I wouldn't go buy a bag of xylitol as a sweetener, like you would buy erythritol or stevia or something like that. I would not buy a bag of erythritol and use as a sweetener. But if it's in gum or something else that you may purchase, then no big deal. But it has a glycemic index associated with it. So here again, it's all about the blood sugar. So if it's gonna affect the blood sugar at all, then my whole thing is there are 4 or 5 other sweeteners out there better than those. So let's just eat it when it's in gum. All right. So mannitol, and then we have glycerol. So these are some of the sugar alcohols that you got to stay away from. So here y'all can see on my screen those on the Facebook and YouTube side. you can see Russell Stover's. That's probably one of the first things that most people that go keto run out and get. And usually when you see the word sugar free, it's a trick. It's not a treat. When you see sugar free, 9 times out of 10, they've used sucralose, they've used maltitol, they use all types of these sweeteners, these other words that I just showed you to sweeten the item. So Russell Stover's has 21 grams of maltitol. So if you really need a laxative, yeah, go get you some Russell Stover's. You will get rid of everything you ate for the last 2 weeks. I promise you. So Russell Stover's is definitely one of those ones that is a trick and not a treat. So stay away from it. I already talked about Atkins. Those pure protein bars, there's a pure protein. They got about 8 grams of maltitol in those. And then these one bars. So they have these one snacks. They have maltitol in them as well. So you want to be mindful of that. And that's just a few items. That's just a few items I touched on. But maltitol is probably the one that you will find the easiest, that you need to be mindful of. And I would just stay away from it. So since I'm talking about sugar alcohols, I introduced a concept called SAME. And this that was developed inside my mastermind coaching group. So the concept is SAME, S-A-M-E, stevia, allulose, monk fruit, erythritol. So SAME, stevia, allulose, monk fruit, erythritol. It's also in my book. So it's in my book, The Keto Playbook as well. That's on Amazon. So stevia, allulose, monk fruit, erythritol. So those are the 4 sugar alcohol, well, 4 sweeteners that we should be looking for. Erythritol is the only sugar alcohol out of those. So sugar alcohol wise, erythritol is the one. That's the one. Yes, it's a sugar alcohol, and some people will lump them all together and they will talk about how it can disrupt your gut and this, that, and the other, whereas erythritol is going to be the one to do that to the least amount of people. I have not had issues like that with erythritol. I know there have been some that do, but maltitol is pretty much going to, you're going to get it with maltitol. With erythritol, the majority of people don't have that type of reaction to maltitol, to erythritol. So stevia, allulose, and monk fruit are actually natural sweeteners. So those are natural sweeteners, like sugar, unfortunately, but they are natural sweeteners. But so that's the category. That's the categories of those. And I like to teach that because sometimes people will use just sugar alcohol or artificial sweetener terminology, and I just like to make sure that you're educated and you know exactly what's what. So sucralose and aspartame are artificial sweeteners. So those are artificial sweeteners. Stevia, allulose, monk fruit are natural sweeteners, and erythritol is a sugar alcohol. Every week this alarm goes off, and I say the same thing every time, right? You say you don't feel good with the erythritol. That's cool, Sue. And the good thing is that if erythritol doesn't sit well with you, you got 4 other options. Well, you have 3 other options. So that's a good thing about what we do is that, you still have options, because like I'm not a stevia person. Like if something has stevia in it, I probably don't want it. So Sue, as for the Facebook page, if you go to the link in my bio, you can get to the Facebook page. I did neglect to let everybody in today. I'm sorry. I did neglect to do that. I'll make sure I do that when we get off of here. If there were any new people getting in the Facebook group, I usually do it on Sundays. So we just talked about the artificial sweeteners. It's not many, but you got the sucralose, the aspartame, and then saccharin. We already know about saccharin. I think we let saccharin go a long time ago. So those would be your artificial sweeteners. So let's look at some of these starches and flours. And I don't want to get too much into that, but just to kind of just to show you the list here. This is here because I'm talking about tricks or treats. And most of the time, the tricks or treats are going to have a sweetener in it. So if you taste something sweet and it doesn't have stevia, allulose, monk fruit, or erythritol, then it's probably going to be something in there that you don't want. So I'm gonna close it out there, y'all, and we'll talk about we'll chit chat in the after party. But those on the Facebook and the YouTube side, I hope this was beneficial to y'all. If you go to ketocoache.com and click grading system, I believe it will prompt you to log in, and then you can register to have access to this grading system on this page. And if you try and it doesn't work, just let me know. It is in the beta phase. So let me know. You can click on grading system. If you go to the page, go to ketocoache.com and then look at the menu bar and go to grading system, then you should be able to log in and register to have access to it. Once you register for it, you'll have lifetime access to the grading system. So hopefully that was helpful for y'all. y'all come on over to TikTok and over to Clubhouse for the after party. We will be over there. So I appreciate all of y'all who chimed, who popped in on the Facebook and YouTube side. Definitely leave a like behind before you go. Tap that like button on your way out. And I definitely will be looking forward to seeing y'all later on this week. So thank y'all much for showing up, and I will see y'all over in the after party on TikTok and on Clubhouse. So y'all, all I ask every single week, y'all, is that y'all just go out and have a great week. Oh, I didn't show y'all, so y'all that can see me on Facebook and YouTube, these are the Keto versus Cancer shirts. So this is something I started years ago, Keto versus Cancer, and it's come to fruition probably about a year or so ago, the logo and everything. And this October wasn't that great with these shirts and hoodies. I think last year we did a whole lot of. We were able to basically send money to about 4 or 5 different people. So I do it as an opportunity. I share the profits, and I do it as an opportunity to give what I call joy gifts, to give joy gifts to people who may be dealing with chemotherapy. And I can go through my whole story right now on what inspired me to do that. But that I'll just tell you that the inspiration started way back in 1992, and up until today, I've been able to do this and create the shirts, which is actually a good way to raise funds for those individuals and a nice way for us in the keto space to share our love for the ketogenic lifestyle. And I do believe that the ketogenic lifestyle may, you know, you got to be careful with your language, may help those individuals who might be dealing with cancer. And if not, then I can help them with the with the income that we make from it. So I can help them at least with some joy and some happiness. And unfortunately, one of the young men who was one of my former students had cancer, and we were able to bless him last year, and he passed away a few months ago. But at least we were able to give him some joy before he left the earth. So I appreciate all of y'all who supported over the years and over the last year, the last few months, or whenever. I'll see y'all in the after party. And as always, y'all make sure y'all have a great week. That's all I'm asking y'all to do. Have a great week. And I'll see y'all at the after party. See y'all.